wasn't looking for you, I wasn't searching, I wasn't creeping around, I wasn't lurking, I wasn't sleeping around, I wasn't thirsting, but I got a thing for you, I got a thing for you. You're on your job and it's damn sure working. Say she ain't a hoe, but she far from a virgin. And when it's time to cut, I'm something like a surgeon. I do my thing for you. Hey baby girl, you got a trunk, I might put you in valet. Where you stretch and make your man think I put you in ballet. If I'm sliding through your city, I need you to dial me. And how much my niggas smoke reminding you of Friday. I can take you to DC, introduce you to Wiley. You can look all through my phone as long as you don't call Jay. Is it cool to parlay? We can do this all day. Just me and you off in my room, we'll call this through the hallway.
Yo, what's good, what's good, what's good? What's good? Just got the Discord post up. Let me get the chat post up right quick. Let me post this right quick in the chat. And then we locked in. Let me get that right there. And then boom, right there. Pin that message. Yo, what's good, C? What's good, P? And then what's good, Z as well? What's good, Z as well? I don't know if he's still in here, but he has said, hold on. He said, Pat Diawara and I both punching the air right now. Come on, Denver. First of all, let me establish this. I ain't punching the air. And as a matter of fact, I know all y'all also know that I didn't even pick my favorite team to win this series because I knew who they had on their side and I knew who we did not have. And what we did not have, and we still don't, is scoring. And so it was just like, damn, I don't even know if we could get past over this hump facing a team that just has so much more experience. It went to 7, got close, but we still couldn't pull it off. And I just had to follow through with my intuition. T-Wolf's Cooking Dever, I promise. Said last year, I'm going to say it again. Hey, Sam, what did I say? I said I got Minnesota. I got my money on Ant. I got my money on Ant, bro. I don't know what it is, but something telling me Ant about to take them niggas out. Ant about to take them niggas out. Hold on. Second round predictions. Fuck around. I'm about to do predictions, start a stream. Hold on. Let me see. Let me open up this bracket right quick. Let me open up this bracket. All right, so what we gonna do? All right. This is what we're gonna do. Start a stream. We about to see how this looking like. We about to see how all this looking like right now. So, updated predicts. We gotta update these predicts. So, first and foremost, I was right with this. I was wrong with this. Because I thought when the Clippers were going to play the Mavs, I thought Kawhi was taking all that time off at the end of the year just to get healthy. But he still was not healthy. So I was like, goddamn, them they lost again, bro. They lost again. It's just sad, bro. But Dallas deserved it, though. Dallas got it, though. So, Timberwolves Suns, I had this like polar opposite. Not literally polar opposite, but different outcome. I thought the Suns would push it together. And I didn't know the Timberwolves would be this good in the playoffs, but shit. Let me stop talking about that then. Nuggets, Lakers, I got that. Celtics, Heat, yeah. Jimmy was out as well, so I was like, yeah, those niggas are going to lose. Called this as well. Did not call this. Health. I didn't know Dame was also going to be hurt. Of course, we couldn't predict that. And then Knicks, Sixers. That Game 2 loss fucked the Sixers up. Since they sold that Game 6, or not Game 6, that Game 2. I don't know if I said Game 6 that first time. Correct me if I'm wrong. But that Game 2, what happened where they had that whole little sequence at the end and then basically sold the game and we're down 2-0. That's why they fucked up. They lost the shit in 6. It would have been 3-3. Should have been 3-3 going to Game 7 in New York, but they sold that one game. You know what I'm saying? It's just probably like 3 mistakes sold them entire series. Now they in Cancun. So boom, I was wrong on this one. But now let's talk about what we got here. Yo, what's good, Tiger? But peep this though. Thunder Mavs. I got Mavs. I got my money on Dallas. I got my money on Dallas. I ain't gonna lie. Too much firepower, bro. It's too much firepower. Thunder are all first-year players, and now Luka's had playoff experience. He's seen ever since he even touched the playoffs. He was already built for the playoffs. Kyrie, I don't even need to say anything about Kyrie. And those are the two heads of your snake. And then you going up against Shea, and then you got a bunch of the younger guys. It's like, I don't know about that. I got Dallas. I might have Dallas in 5 too. P, I ain't gonna lie. Is the only inexcusable guy wrong? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I just got this one wrong. I just got this one wrong. I just literally got this one wrong straight up. Straight up, I just got it wrong, man. Dallas. It might be Dallas in 5. Actually, Dallas in 6. Dallas in 6. Dallas in 6. I think Thunder will pull off a couple. They'll pull out a. Actually, it's gonna be tough. Yeah, I'll go 6. I'll go Dallas in 6. Minnesota, Denver. I gotta put it into the world. I gotta put it into the universe. I got Minnesota in 6. Minnesota in 6. Joker going home. Ain't no more jokes this year, man. Joker going home. Joker going home. Joker going home. I heard people say it's a 7-game series, but I don't see it. Dallas OKC a 7-game series. Dallas OKC 7-game series. That's wild. That's wild. That must be some Oklahoma City fans or some SGA fans at that. I don't know if I can see this shit going 7. The firepower Dallas got with Kyrie and Luka is just like, sheesh, that's gonna be tough. Hey, Big Will, NYC, appreciate that sub. Minnesota in 1. Who you think taking the chip? Whoever comes out the Western Conference, because I do not have faith in the Celtics winning the championship. They shoot way too many threes. They're gonna shoot themselves out of a series. And they may fuck around and shoot themselves out of the Knicks series. So going down to this Knicks-Pacers series, I got Knicks in 5. They're going to get out-hustled. They're going to get out-rebounded. They're going to get just out-hearted. You know what I'm saying? Not even from a standpoint of they got 2 Harts on that team, meaning Josh Hart and Hartenstein. But from a standpoint, they just going to hustle the shit out the fucking game and make that shit just ugly. But at the same time, they're going to be controlling it. Because Indiana don't play defense. All because they play this fast pace and it's like, okay, playoffs, let's hone in a little bit. You don't have the personnel. You know what I'm saying? Don't change the fact you don't have the personnel. So, Celtics cook, not gonna lie. Not in this series. Cavs should get swept. I want to see the Cavs, look. I want to see the Cavs lose in the worst way possible. Not because they beat Orlando, because I already knew they was already gonna win that series. I had my money on the Cavs. But because I want to see Donovan Mitchell leave. Bro. He wasting his time in Cleveland. Like, he's with a team as to which, when you get into the playoffs, the past 2 years, your squad has already proved it to you. They not ready to show up. They not showing up like Donovan Mitchell showing up. And if he gets to a team like Orlando, imagine, look, hear me out. I'm going to talk about this later, but hear me out. If Orlando got a Donovan Mitchell or Trae Young, come on, man. Already had a top 3 defense. And we're starting Jalen Suggs and Gary Harris. Do we really need both of those 2 players in the starting lineup when we already got our 3 players in our starting 5 that can switch everything? And switch everything is the best team defense in today's basketball. Already number 3. We just need some scoring. So just imagine if we got a Trae Young or a Donovan Mitchell. That's all I got to say. I just want to see Donovan Mitchell leave and go somewhere to where it's going to actually shake shit up. Right? To where it's like, oh, they actually got a chance. You know what I'm saying? That team looking scary. I want to see that type of move. I want to see him get to a team like that and him still being in Cleveland. Evan Mobley had 10 points yesterday or some shit. Like, Evan Mobley hasn't improved for real. Darius Garland hasn't stepped up to the plate. I ain't gonna lie. I fuck with Darius Garland's game and shit, but like when it's come down to the playoffs, he has not really been there consistently. Especially last night. I don't know what the fuck was going on last night, but shit, that shit was getting ugly. But every single time he had the rock, I was like, oh, yeah, see, he not getting some shit off. It just did not look right. So, I want to see Boston actually win this in the least amount of games possible. Can you do 4K streams? I can do a 4K stream if you want the shit to lag. You want it to lag? I done tried it before. I tried 2K stream, like 1440p. And when I was doing that shit was lagging and shit, and I'm just like, I'm not with it. So I started just doing 1080, but the stream encoders that YouTube has is way worse than Twitch, so like the quality isn't gonna be as crisp and shit. But yeah. And O'Shea winning a chip at that age would be crazy, bro. Honestly, bro, tonight is gonna be the game. I may fuck around and rewatch that Timberwolves Nuggets game 1, because I ain't get to watch it. It was on Saturday at 7. I was pretty sure I was busy. I had some other stuff to do. Do you have a LAN connection? No, I'm not sure what that is. I may have to do some research. I've been trying to look for ways as to which I could improve it, but I just gotta figure it out. You know what I'm saying? I gotta try to spend some time. If y'all know anything that can help, let me know. If y'all know anything. But you said, June, I was wondering what skills are required to transition from center to a wing. So June, answer this for me. The way you gotta transition from a center to a wing depends on your skill set. So what skills do you have now that already do suit that of a wing player? And what do you not have? Answer that, right? What skills of a wing player do you have and what do you not have? Because depending on what you have and what you don't have will determine what you now need to improve and work on so then you could play a wing. So tell me what you got. Is a cabled version? Oh, like whatchamacallit? Like actually plugging in like the connection directly from like in the actual some shit in the wall. Yeah, that shit. I don't have that. I don't have that because I'm pretty sure I done tried to do it before. But don't you need a certain like outlet, like a particular outlet from whatchamacallit in your wall to be able to do so? If not, I'll look into it and I'll see what I could do. I'll see what I could do so that I could be able to stream at a higher quality. Because when I was at streaming in 2K 1440, that shit was just too much. Yeah, I'll be like, yo, that shit lagging. I'm like, nah, I ain't trying to deal with that. And even now, like on Friday stream, when my brother was playing on the game and shit, that shit was low key. That shit was whatchamacallit. That shit was lagging. You just plug it into your router. My router's in my living room. My router is in my living room. So I can't. You think I'm gonna get a fucking? How that shit's probably like 30 feet from me, like maybe even 40 feet. I can't. I don't got no shit over there. As a Cavs fan, we're ready to get swept. Hey, as a Cavs fan, are you ready for Donovan Mitchell to leave? Is the real question. Are you ready for Donovan Mitchell to leave? Is the real question, man. That's the real question, bro. Cause it ain't looking too good. Ain't nobody showing up for my guy. He be showing up every year in the playoffs. Every team he go to, Donovan Mitchell show up. But even last year, bro, it's cause everyone else wasn't doing their thing. Jared Allen was folding. Evan Mobley, bro. Hey, as a Cavs fan, look. I want you. Hey, ABT, right? ABT. I got a question for you. What do you think about Evan Mobley as a Cavs fan? Cause I'm not no Cavs fan, but I'm watching from like just an objective perspective, right? No opinion, just seeing it for what it is. And I'm like, he just hasn't really gotten better. He had like 10 points yesterday, but he's like 7'1", or it's probably 7 foot flat, maybe 7'1". Fuck around, be 7'1" in shoes. Wingspan going crazy, probably about 7'5", 7'6". And I'm like, dog, you got all the talent, you got all the gifts, but when it comes down to the skill, the application, the performance, the execution, it's just not there. It's lacking. I'm like, gang, come on, man. He should dominate the paint, dominate the mid-range, the mid-post. Like, he should dominate all that shit. But now I begin to reflect on things like work ethic. And it's not just Evan Mobley I wanna critique when it comes down to this. The main person I want to critique when it comes to this aspect of work ethic is that boy Franz Wagner, because this is crazy shit going on, man. 1 for 15. 1 for 15. I know you averaged 19.7 per game this season, but 1 for 15, and look at that 3-point percentage. He dropped 8 percentage points this year. In 1 year, he dropped 8%. I'm going to talk about that a little later. That shit kind of crazy, man. That shit kind of crazy. 20-meter cable got connected through my whole apartment. Not as complicated as you think. I'll look into it. I'll see what I could do. But, I don't know about Darius Garland. Bro, it's just the playoffs. I don't know what be going on. That's some mental shit, bro. It's mental shit. He got all the skill. But the mental shit, like, I don't think he there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to see Donovan Mitchell just trying to uplift him the whole time. But he was like 3 for 15. I'm like, damn, y'all, they barely won that joint, too. Where was I at? As a Rockets and Clippers fan, I'm a Mavs fan right now. Why Rockets and why Clippers? I'll see. Maybe like just a third. You know what I'm saying? Like third resort type shit. He should have dominated. He should have. But I ain't gonna lie. Magic they got some defenders. You know what I'm saying? Like he was also going against Paolo. Paulo's not a small dude. He should have been able just to literally float over those. But like I said, the skill. You know what I'm saying? The skill not there. How many push-ups you do today? I did 0 push-ups today, Josh. did zero. I hardly be doing upper body. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't gonna lie to you. I hardly be doing upper body. I gotta get my legs in. I gotta get my balance in. Gotta get my core right. I just do a little bit of shoulders and some back every now and then, cause you know what I'm saying, that's the hooper strength. But outside of that, I don't really be doing push-ups. That's why my chest is. It's not. I ain't bird chested right now, but I don't really got no real shape. You know what I'm saying? Real any mass at all. No cap. Oh, why run through your whole house for internet? Be why? I ain't gonna lie. That does seem like a whole process. Cause just to think about what I would have to get done, like it's not even my crib. You know what I'm saying? If it's my own crib, like at my own spot, that's a different story. But it's not even in my spot. It's my parents' crib. So it's like, I ain't really gonna be into that. I'm an Orlando fan. I'm sorry for you. Don't be sorry for me. Don't be sorry. Don't be sorry. I try to tell y'all this all the time, bro. Tell y'all this all the time. I already had the Cavs winning, 1. And 2, I just knew if we not winning at all, then it's gonna be it's if we don't have a real chance to win it all, not just win the second round, third round on some Philadelphia 76ers shit, get to the semis and we good. But I want to be able to be in a spot where it's like we could win it all, and that's what I'm thinking towards. And if we have all those pieces in play, and then we're actually competing, and then we end up losing just because, say, we got out-coached, we got out-hustled or some shit, then you may see me tight. You might see me tight then. But when I know we don't have all the pieces necessary to be able to win it all, to be able to really compete with the best of the best, I only see growth. And having losses like this will only promote growth and excite that process. So, Trae Young in Orlando, I love it too. But it's just going to be tough unless the Spurs outbid them or outbid us, or the Lakers. I feel like the Spurs or Lakers is going to go fucking ham when it comes down to dropping shit to get Trae Young. Natural 5 forced to play the 4. Then playing with Jared Allen hinders his growth. That pair of horrible coaching, he's not going to develop. Same thing with Darius Garland. Yeah, you got 2 ball-dominant guards, and then you got 2 big bigs. So it's like, it's very redundant. And it's just, and the worst thing about it is you don't have no wings. Like, you got to fill in your wing slots with Max Strus and Georges Niang. Not like, but
with all due respect,
they solid players, right? They solid. But when you're trying to really compete, you need a good wing. You need a really good guard. Or like, you already have the guard. You already have the front court, the center. You have the point guard or the ball dominant guard, but you don't got that wing. And now you got Dean Wade and you got Niang and you got Strus. It's just not gonna cut it when you playing like a team like Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna have Max Strus, Niang, and LeVert and shit like Okoro guarding the Bulls. Like, come on, man. Now Boston may shoot themselves out of a couple games, but you're still not gonna win the series. He can't develop with good coaching. Cavs where is that? You should do a Paulo film breakdown. I've done a Paulo breakdown before, and I'm gonna talk about Paulo Football Productions. I'm gonna talk about Paulo a little bit today. I got some clips in here. It's gonna be, I want to talk mainly about Franz, but of course I gotta talk about Paulo. He had 38 and 16. There's no way I do not talk about Paulo. Like, I have to. You know what I'm saying? And there's a couple other things I want to talk about, like Cole Anthony. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple things in there too. You said, oh, Darius Garland can't develop without good coaching. Cavs are running ISOs the whole first half. Everybody was off. There's no offensive scheme to get open shots for DG, Strus, and Merrill. Sam Merrill, yeah, he had like 2 threes, I believe. But I think most definitely you need the right coaching for not just for individual player, but you have to have the right coach for a collective of players. Similar to how Jamal Mosley is for Orlando. Even though we did lose this series, you've seen the improvements in the past 2 seasons. For Cleveland, the past couple of years, it's been like Cleveland's been Cleveland, right? And also being able to get the right personnel. I said this a while ago, but I was saying if I was the Cavs, I would have traded Jared Allen. I would have traded Jared Allen and got the best wing I could possibly get. Honestly, that would be the best thing I'll do after that. I'll put Mobley to the 5, get a wing, someone can play a wing, play the 4, right? And then I'll just see what we rock with from there. Maybe throwing a couple picks in that deal, see whoever the fuck you could get. But having 2 bigs and then 2 ball dominant guards is just not it. It's just not it. Niang is a basketball. That's wild as fuck. I don't even know if I can say that, man. It's wild as fuck. Where was I at? Why they want Trey? Just wondering. What you mean? Who want Trey? Orlando? Orlando needs scoring. San Antonio needs a playmaker for Wemby, and the Lakers just need any fucking body. The Lakers need any fucking body, bro. They just need any star, bro. Oh my gosh, they just need anything. What type of notes would you recommend taking while watching these streams? Like what to take away? Anything. I want you to, when I do breakdowns and when I do any stream, listen to what I'm saying, and then if it correlates to what you do and what you do in basketball, take note of it. So I want you to think back to the way you play with your teams, right? Whether it's high school, whether it's AAU, or if you're overseas, your club team. Think about anything that connects to anything that you do there, right? And most importantly, what you got to even understand first is who you are. Because there's something I said yesterday. I wrote down in my notebook. What was it? I'm trying to get the words correct. The notebook is in my living room. But I said, this is what it was. You must understand who you are so you know what business to stand on, right? And so when it comes down to, not even just from a perspective of morals and a perspective of values, it also boils down to, once you understand self, you know what things as to which you got to look for when you do certain things, and what lines you won't cross, and what things you'll put your focus on, and what things you should not put your focus on, right? It's important that you understand self. And so once you understand self, you'll now be able to filter out all this information as to what you're going to be receiving on a day-to-day basis, right? Because the main problem with a lot of people is that they can't filter out all the shit that they get from social media, all the shit they get from the Instagram, TikTok, the comments, this person saying this, that person saying this, that person saying that person saying that. They can't filter that out because they don't know what they need and they don't know what they do not need. And that just boils down to knowing self. So once you're able to understand self, you'll know what business you need to stand on. So that's a gem. So, so make sure that you know the type of shit that you get yourself into. So before you even watch videos, you need a process that's going to, you need a process of self-reflection, right? You need to reflect on the spots you're in the spots you're in a game. You need to reflect on the type of plays that you run. You need to reflect on where you see yourself most frequently. You need to also reflect on the type of things you do well just as an individual player. And so when it comes down to that as a whole, once you know that, then it's going to make it easier for you to know what type of shit that I'm saying that you do need. But I do help bypass that process in the Patreon. So if you're in the Patreon, in those breakdowns, I'm just telling you all the things as to which are not very generalized, but it's relatively generalized, but really specific. Meaning that I'm showing you all the things that are going to apply to this type of spots you will see in the game. Because I just understand the type of offenses and the type of positions that you do get into within the course of a game, especially at the high school level, even at the college level. Like, it's all damn near the same. And you just got to understand that, and everything's just going to be easy. So that's the type of shit you got to focus on. Luke, you said I got a question about conditioning. How much time should I give myself to start condition training before tryouts or training camp? Honestly, like, me personally, since I work out, say if I was playing organized right now, I work out every day. Even if I was playing organized, I'll work out, train every single day. So for me to be in game shape and be prepared for tryouts or training camp, I would always be on that line because I'm working out every single day. For me, it's just the process of growth that I cannot leave. Right? It's the process of just getting better day by day, which is what I enjoy. A lot of people see working out as a stressor, meaning like, shit, I got to go through all this just so I can get to the game. I'm like, I like to go through all this because this is where the real growth happens. This is where all the improvements happen. Not by the time you get into the game and the lights and the fans and the crowds and the notoriety and the popularity and the clout. It's not that where the growth happens, right? It's when no one sees you. It's when the lights are turned off, when you by yourself, where you gotta face your shadow self, where the real growth occurs. And so for me, just seeing little bits of progress day to day to day to day, just over the course of years, has made progression addictive. It's made progression and growth has become a drug to me, and it's also a drug to y'all if y'all just allow you, if you become disciplined, so that you can be able to see the growth that will transpire in the things that you do. So I would say going back to what you're saying with training camp though, if you're not in shape and you know it's like a couple weeks away, You better start doing your conditioning. It all also depends on when exactly are your tryouts and when is your training camp. So it ultimately depends on the shape that you're in as an individual. So how you feel about Klay Thompson to Orlando? No, I don't want it. It might happen, but I don't want it. I don't want it. Because that's not going to take us over the hump. Like I said, I want to win it all. Not just win a little more, win it all. Which means getting a big time piece, which is what the Lakers do like through decades. They get big time pieces that are going to put themselves in position to win it all and not just win a little more. That's the difference. Y'all got to understand. That's the difference between the Lakers and them having 17 championships. Correct me if I'm wrong. And then all these other franchises and organizations is that the Lakers, every time they go after a player, we're going after the big fish. We're not going after the small fish. We're not going after some player that's going to allow us to win 3 more games, 5 more games, 1 more round. I want someone who's going to take us from bottom feeder to the top of the top. That's why they would get a LeBron James. They also do have the advantage of just being in a big market in LA, but at the same time, it also requires great owners to understand all we got to do are things so we could win. And so that's why we go for a LeBron. We're not going to try and go for just a average all-star when we're already a bottom feeder team, right? We're not going to just try to get some mid-level player. We're not going to just throw someone in there. We're trying to win it all. We get an Anthony Davis. We get a LeBron. We get a Shaq. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit that would actually allow them to win. And so I want to see a team that gets anything. You know what I'm saying? I want to see us get something that's actually gonna put us in position to win, like really win games. Who's a playmaker for the Magic right now? It's Paolo. But we need another one. We need a scorer. We need someone who could even just leverage their scoring to then make plays. So, any tips on how to windmill off one or just in general? You got to practice the mechanics of windmilling and dunking and the movement of the hands before you even try to do it when jumping. It's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to save you a lot of jumps. Franz is so inconsistent. I say that German, he scored 34. The other two is crazy. I ain't going to lie. He is inconsistent. And the one thing that just fucking, I was just looking at it, right? The one thing about Franz is the fact of his fucking 3-point percentage this season, my nigga. He shot 28%. He dropped 8% from 3. I'm going to keep saying this shit through the breakdown. This nigga dropped 8% from 3 in a season. I don't know what the fuck he did in the offseason. He probably said, I'm cool. I just came off this gold medal. I don't need to go put no work in the gym. Shit, I'm high off this gold medal. Well, first of all, it's not the real Olympics. 2, this is not even the real shit. So I don't know what transpired. I don't know what happened for you to drop 8% in a season. So that shit's just unacceptable right there and then. And he did average a career high in points, but imagine how many more points he would have got if he was just shooting the 36%, or if you got even better between last year and this year and now began to shoot 38%. Averaging instead of 19.5, you averaging probably 22, right? Because not just the fact you're making more threes, but on the fact that since you make more threes, it's going to open up more 2s, right? Also, you could probably even get more fouls because now you're playing closer to the rim, and the way he plays with his unorthodox footwork, now it's going to make it hard for defenders to even time some jumps, and he's going to get crafty around the rim, right? So now that's a completely different game he's playing, and it's a completely different game for the team if he just simply improved from 3. Now, I don't know. It could have also been this. He didn't have much time between the Olympics and the season. He tried to take some time off to start. He didn't get the reps he needed. Different type. And then boom. But regardless, you're about to go back to the Olympics. And now I don't want you to come back to the season where you're making your real money, where you're trying to get your max contract money. You know what I'm saying? The real organization. Not the Olympic, not your internet, not your home country, but where you're actually making money. I don't want you to come back here and have that same dip like you did this past season because of off season. So at this point, it's damn near no excuse because you got to do it again. You're going to keep doing it every year. So you better get hip to it. Man. So that's all I just got to say about Franz. I'm going to talk about it more in the breakdown. Franz ghosted in Game 5 should have been the first red flag. Game 5, yeah, that's tough. I got the windmill part. Jared Allen better than Mobley though, and more consistent. Jared Allen is too tough. It's just hard for me to even put Allen over Mobley. Allen be chasing down rebounds like a motherfucker, but skill, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. You said be aggressive and be more explosive. That is not what you do to try to get a windmill. Windmilling is a skill. Like, you need to learn the mechanics and the movement of a windmill if you want to be able to windmill. And trust me, like, I done been through that whole process. Like, I've never windmilled before. I had the vert, but I just had no mechanics, and I just literally had to rep that shit out while being on the ground. Had to teach myself the arm motion, the arm movement. And I'll literally do things like be next to a wall, boom. Then I'll have the ball in my hand, and I'll just hit the ball on the wall just to get my arm in that same rhythm. I got that drill from Jordan Kilgannon, pro dunker. Y'all probably done seen him. White dude, like 6 foot, 6'2" or some shit, be doing all them crazy dunks, hair color and shit. He has said anytime I need to learn mechanics, I'll just go next to a wall and then do the mechanics and hit the ball on the wall instead of doing all the jumping shit, because it's a lot of energy you're going to exert trying to jump and work on the mechanics, and there's a lot more variables you have to worry about. So teach yourself the variables individually, which is also what I say. This is also why I say any skill you do, separate the variables, work on it, then bring it all back together. So, can you go in the future? Can you in the future go through basketball terminology? What you mean in the future go through basketball Oh, I was like thinking literally me go into the future. But I do some terminology stuff in the community, in the Patreon, in terms of like footwork and stuff. But as I go along, I'm still not familiar with all terminology in basketball. And so like there's going to be a point in time where I just study for a few days and just get all that shit down packed to where I'm sharp with it. Like when I'm speaking to NBA players, like I could speak that same language, because anything they say, I know exactly what it is. So that's gonna be some point in time though. So as I go along though, if you need me to clarify on anything I do say, let me know. Cavs to Game 7, yeah, bro, that's tough. Zay said Trae Young, Klay Thompson, and Larry. I don't want to see Klay in this pinstripe jersey, man. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him in this pinstripe, bro. I don't want to see him in this pinstripes, dog. LeBron is crazy. He ain't getting no Bron. That's fuck no. Bron ain't coming here. He said he not doing it because of the bubble. The bubble fucked up his perception on Orlando, so he ain't doing that shit no more. Being coordinated def plays a part in doing fancy dunks like windmills in East Bay. Yes, it does. Coordination is vital. Proprioception, coordination, all that stuff that have to deal with your ability to navigate your body in space, all extremely important. Where was I at? Hey, Germany gonna get that bronze. They gonna get silver max, because Team USA taking that shit. There's no way they lose. Alexa Avramovic is locking Shea in USA versus Serbia. Again, I can't wait for you to break down that game. I don't know who the fuck that dude is. Can anyone in this chat East Bay? Bro, I'm close. I tried a few attempts today. I got the closest item probably ever got, which was like, I got front rim. Like, I got not necessarily hung, but like slightly hung, I guess. Front rim miss. It like spun off the front rim and like popped up. So like, yeah, that's the closest I done got. So I just literally gotta get the mechanics down, because my vert's already like a 41, 40 at least, right? So like I just gotta get that down, or like I'll say at least a 39, But if I'm like getting my best jumps in, I'm probably getting a 41. So where is I at? At what age? I'm curious. Yeah, it's just me. I guess it's just me. I don't know if anybody in here got bounced crazy though. I could win after watching Rob. I mean, I just did it more aggressive. I ain't gonna lie. Windmilling took me dumb long to get, because I used to try always get it off one. Then I was like, fuck it. Let me try to go off two. And I started working on getting my 2-foot bounce. Like I went from improving my vert to probably around like a 36, 37 off one. And then my off two was probably like a 36-ish. And I was like, and I was hyper focusing on 1 foot. But I was like, let me go to 2. And my 2 foot shot up. Like the second I started focusing on 2 foot, shot up. And now I'm going to tell y'all this though, right? Dunking is fun, right? You see people dunk. If you've dunked before, it's fun, right? Especially when you're able to do like different styles of dunks. But if you're just talking about in-game results and performance, dunking is overrated because you're not really going to use it, one. And if you only think about the aspect of just dunking the ball, you're going to forget about all the skills you built if you did build your vert up so that you could be able to use it in a game, right? Meaning the conversion of the body control, the functional strength. And you're going to always want to think dunk, dunk, dunk. But in reality, it should be use this vert, use this control so I could navigate and I could be able to lay instead. And so low key, like I haven't gotten burnt out of jump training and getting my vert up, but it's getting there because I just really want to work on skill. And there's just so much more to the game than the dunking part. But I did set a goal for myself. And you're going to see me not stop until I get that East bet. And I'm not stopping until I get that shit. So y'all gonna see it. Y'all gonna see it. Whereas I low-key need to get through the chat. I'm low-key far behind. You meant Canada. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. You just say Shea and Team USA. I'm coming straight off a calf strain. I haven't jumped in months. Just tried yesterday and only touched rim. I'll say be careful. That's a calf strain, man. You remember what happened with KD with his calf strain? You remember what happened with KD's calf strain, man? Dirty Sweat. Appreciate that. Appreciate that sub. Appreciate that sub. Serbia winning it all, France. Nah, bro. He wild as fuck. He said Serbia. You think Jokic gonna come in that bit? Actually cook? Nah, bro. He ain't. Oh, bro. Superstar team, bro. You got the Avengers, man. You got the Avengers. Is 30 at 15 crazy? I would say, what's that? Average is like maybe like, what's the average vertical jump? I think it's around there. Average NBA vertical is a 28. Average vertical is a 28. And by the way, y'all probably get shit confused. You think every NBA player got a 40. No, the fuck they don't. Them niggas is about 6'8". The average height is 6'6". They don't have to jump much to dunk. They don't got to jump that much to dunk. So when you see someone like me who's like 6'1", dunking, or you see a Ja dunking, or you even see like Ant the 43 or some shit, like his shit, he go crazy. Right? Like, of course, you can see those high flyers, but a majority of those dudes, they don't got to jump really high to actually get up there and dunk. Now, they're great athletes because you mix the size in with having the average athleticism or above average. It's, of course, going to be tough to score against if you're just the average human being. But when you really see these dudes, like some of these dudes dunking, they don't got to put that much effort in, bro. They do not got to put effort in. You always been bouncy growing up? Fuck no. No. Bro, when I was in high school, I could barely dunk. Like I done got calluses from the gym, just rim grazing and just not even being close to dunking. But it was once I stopped playing, like organized and playing in college, I was like, all right, let me figure out this jumping stuff because I know it could be done. I just don't know how. So found the answers. I probably went from like a 32 or 33 to now being at a 40 to 41 to being around there. So like I learned actually how to literally get vert from not having it genetically, and it's just the process in itself. Answers are all there. It's just about being able to find them and being able to actually utilize them, make use of them. Yeah, I used to be a 1 foot jumper, but after looking at it, all those 2 foot jumps, I switched. Also, it's more game applicable too, so more game applicable, so as well. Jeans kicked in at age 13, 14. Oh, what'd you say? Oh, you 5'9"? Okay. I mean, 30, probably a 30 inch you said you're 15, 30 inch. You'll probably definitely, if you train properly, eat properly, you know what I'm saying? Who knows the fuck you could be at in the next couple of years. Like I told y'all, but 17 is when you really want to be your best in high school. Y'all can't try to be the best player now. You got to build your game to be the best when scouts come to look at you. Hey, Dustin, appreciate that sub. Appreciate that sub, Dustin. Where's that? I can jump higher out 2, but I dunk off 1 because it's more explosive. Should I switch my 2 foot technique because I jump left, right, and I'm a righty? I mean, if it's more natural for you to jump left, right, I wouldn't say to switch it. I didn't see people who are more comfortable doing that. So if it's more comfortable, you just rock with that. But the thing with 2 feet is that it's technique, it's form. And so I had to teach myself when I began to make that switch to being predominantly 2 foot, is I had to teach myself the form and the mechanics of 2 foot jumping. like how to properly plant my first step, how to plant my second, how to keep my upper body in unison, in sync with my lower body, so I could be able to get all the momentum that I can into my jump, right? Get all the force I can. Like it's a whole little process of learning technique, especially off two. Off one is something that you could get just being in the flow. Like sprinting often can help you be able to jump off one. I'll be all about that first step. Hey, better be careful with that first step. Like I said, that calf strain, man. That calf strain. Height and wingspan, exactly. Them motherfuckers don't be jumping. Paulo 38 and 16. He gave us our thoughts on Wolves Nuggets. Long story short, I got my money on Minnesota. I got my money on Ant. 1v1 YPK Ray. Maybe in the future. That's up to y'all, though. It's not like I'm going to be out here like, yo, Ray, let's 1v1. Nah, that's y'all, bro. That's y'all who, if anything, bro, I don't think y'all realize, but y'all could expedite my process to playing IRL ones if y'all did put my name out there at a bunch of shit. But I don't know. We're going to see that shit go along, you know what I'm saying? But I do everything. The crazy thing is now I built my whole shit off my mind. Y'all haven't even seen me hoop for real. You know what I'm saying? But once y'all do, it's going to make a lot of sense. Where was I at? Oh, yeah. Nuggets Wolves. I got that. 6'2", and I can't jump for nothing. Only dunking once, maybe twice after a pickup game. You might just, first thing I'll say to do is jump more. Jumping more is just going to help you naturally build the proper form so you can dunk, right? Because when you begin to get good jumps, you're going to be like, oh, that was a good jump. And you're going to get more familiar with how it feels like to have a good jump. And now once you get more and more familiar with it, you're going to replicate it more and more frequently, right? And so you're going to be a more consistent jumper. Not just from, oh, I have good form, but you're going to get better results because you're going to get higher because your form is better more frequently. So now, if you just jump more, it's almost subconsciously, autonomically teaching yourself how to jump. So, where's that? I'm getting at least a 40-inch vert by AT and know I'm wasting my potential. Hey, my vert program may fuck around and drop by then, so you could get that 40. Fuck around and be able to get that 40, no cap. You should make an AAU team, DOR, AAU team. I definitely want to do it in the future, like on some like legit, like actual, a real AAU team, not no bullshit like, oh, I'm gonna do it for content. Oh, coaching like on some legit like circuit shit. Like I want y'all to see DOR on a Adidas circuit, Nike circuit type shit. Like I'm not playing, bro. Like you can see these creators make the AAU team, but I'm gonna make a legit team and a team that has players that gel and mesh and players that are gonna actually play together at a high level too. It's not gonna be none of that, oh, we just come in once a week. No, it's gonna be legit, like real, like circuit, Nike, Adidas, whatever it might be, fucking whatever circuit I would be able to get into. Fucking Under Armour, never know. It's just about connections. It's about building, and that's the phase that I'm in right now, that building phase. So we sitting here 2024, May 6th, 2024, but as time goes along, that shit gonna be like 2027. It's gonna be like, oh shit, I remember a stream he did say he was gonna do that. And the other thing I want to do camps as well. Like I want to be able to go to, like, host a select camp on some shit, you know, just literally through my following and be like, all right, boom, we getting this player, that player, boom, invite this player out, boom, all expenses paid for, like all that expenses paid for, all that shit. So appreciate advice, no problem. Last year I maxed out mobility and I added 3 inches on my vert. Took 2 to 3 months though. Everything great takes time. Everything great takes time, man. It's taking me dumb long to even just get to my vert to where it is now. And I've been through so many plateaus, but I know how to get pushed past those plateaus. And now it's boiling down to learning the actual mechanics and the mechanisms, if that's the right word for it, of dunking. I get done pretty consistently with 2 hands. What's the next dunk I should try? Off your other leg. You're a 1-foot jumper, right, bro? So instead of jumping off the left, start jumping off your right. Switch your feet. How can you join a club/team for context? I live in the UK and I'm 16. I'm not sure about the overseas route or anything overseas in Europe and like how to join clubs and teams there, but I could tell you there's one thing that always does pop up in everything. Relationships. It's not about what you know or what you could do. It's really about who you know. And the second you begin to realize that, then your whole world gonna turn around and things about to glow. Things will start to glow. Like it'll just be like, oh shit, like I'm in here, I'm that place, I'm this place. Like you're gonna be in the exact places you want. Not just because what you could do, not just because what you know, but who you know. So you gotta understand that. That's vital. I'm a witness when the shit blows up. It's a blow up in the making. Blow up in the making. In the plateau too. Them shits be the worst. But especially at y'all's, it may just be me in my perspective. Like thinking about the plateau you're in, it's like, yo, that shit, you can just get out the shit like this. Because I could probably pinpoint any habit that you probably do, and it's like, oh, change that, and then boom, you'll push past that plateau. So that's weird though. But it's just about learning. So I just got to figure it out what it is for me to push past mine. So when y'all end up getting to my level and having a plateau, y'all know how to push past that. And that's one of the real reasons why I always work out. Like it's one of the reasons that lie within it. Not just because I want to get better myself, but because I want to be able to learn more so that I can be able to help y'all to even greater extent. So sleeping the mechanics could be. It could be. My left leg weak as fuck, but my right and 2 foot I got in the bag. Well, start working on that left. That was a Twitch sub. That's a Twitch follow. That's crazy. You can barely grab rim. You better get better. I could dunk off my right and dunk off my left. That shit crazy. I just be flowing. I be actually just right hand, left hand. I be going to my left side, left foot, right hand. Do you realize what I said, right? I could go for, like, say I'm on the right wing, right? And I drive left. I could jump off my left foot and dunk with my right hand. Or even go to my left, off my left, with my left. Or I could go to my left, off my left, with both my right and left, 2-hand dunk. Like, you gotta have the whole package. You're not a real dunker until you have every dunk, 1 hand, 2 hand, and both hands off of all approaches, 1 foot or 2 feet. You're not a real dunker until you got all of them. Not until you got all of them. So I may record myself doing all the dunks too one of these days. When I dunked for the first time, my first dunk was like my sophomore year. I'm pretty sure I might even have it on my phone, but it was like a little rim grazer off two. Like it was like a walk up off two. Like I think I may even have it on my phone. I'll put it in the Discord later or some shit, but actually it's gonna take dummy long. But yeah. I think I've showed y'all before. I have duck feet, so when you talk about toes pointing to the rim, that shit be so awkward. You gotta correct that shit then. You gotta correct that shit then, dog. I gotta open up these clips too, and I gotta correct me so it could be able to stream efficiently. Let me pull up these clips expeditiously. How do you reprogram your body nervousness to do a certain type of footwork? I can't jump with my right leg. It's like my body doesn't know how to. You just start doing it to a lesser extent. That's all you got to do. Like, you don't have to literally do a bunch of maximal jumps. Just get familiar with just jumping off that leg and just touching, like, the backboard, right? Just get familiar with the movement in itself. Like, one thing I'm trying to add in, I already got the right, left off two. Right hand, left hand, both hands, whatever. I want to get the left, right, left hand. Like that John Wall opposite dunk type shit, like left hand dunk package type shit. So I've been trying to get that, and that's just a matter of getting more reps in with what I do. You should make YouTube shorts on you dunking. I look you threw in a clip of me dunking on one of my TikTok posts like yesterday. That was like, oh shit, I didn't know he had bounce. They'd be like, Unk had bounce. I'm like, bro, I'm not even Unk. I'm closer to y'all age than you realize, bro. Do it slow at first, and then over time you get better at it. Yeah, you can start slow. You can start slow and then improve. Like start less intense. Let me say that. Let's start less intense. You as a Cole fan, bro, he happy. He knew some we ain't. Bro, I don't even think y'all. That's the thing. Y'all don't think bigger picture when it come down to shit like that. I'm gonna speak on this, and we probably better start the breakdown. But when it come down to shit like that, I don't think y'all realize the fact that if you simply understand Kendrick and Drake, them niggas have been dissing each other for years and years. And if you don't have any genuine hatred to neither one of them, and it's like, why would I even do this shit? And then people's like, oh, that's soft. It's like, Why do I even want to go there? I just have no urge and no real hatred to do something like that. That's just a low level of operation. That's just a low level of operation to be able to go that route. Because now you're gonna have to find dirt on people and be like, oh, and start like saying all this shit. Like, I don't even think y'all realize right now that the spiritual aspect, the energy of hip hop right now in social media is extremely negative and dark, because people are thriving and engaging in things as to which are two people who hate one another, and hatred is a dark trait, right? And so I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you just got to make sure, you got to be careful how much you get into it, because now you're gonna try to pick sides and begin to hate somebody for no damn reason. So I'll say be careful when it comes down to that. A lot of people putting too much of their intention, too much of their mind on that. So, but most definitely when it comes down to Cole though, great move. Great move, man. Y'all, if there's one thing y'all done seen in my background ever since I started this, like since I had this set up, you see Kobe up there and you see Cole right there. It's not moving. It's not moving, regardless of what happened. It's not moving. It's been here since about a year streaming this shit. Ever since I got a new camera and got this new setup, but this shit been here the whole time. What's good, Satro? Biggest thing for improving IQ. I heard the advice, play more, and I do a lot. Improving IQ isn't just about playing more, because people will play and not think about what they do. The real improvements in IQ, because you got to understand what IQ is. IQ is knowledge, intelligence. How are you able to grow in knowledge? How are you able to grow in intelligence and wisdom? It's by thought. But people say you can't think when it comes down to playing a game like basketball, like, because you don't have time for thinking. But a lot of people don't realize that while you play the game, that's not the time for thinking. People don't realize that. That's not the time for thinking. The time for thinking is when we begin to do things like this. This is the time for thinking. Now, if y'all think I'm going to go and play a real game and think as in-depth as I do when it comes down to these breakdowns when I play a real game, you got to be goofy. If you think I'm thinking that much when I go and play. What you do in film right here when you think is that you establish certain reads and certain things as fact or as truth until proven otherwise, right? So by the time you get there and you see what you've seen 5 times, 10 times, 15 times, you're going to do the exact read you need to according to that situation, right? And so it boils down to how well do you know what you're about to step into? How well do you know what you're about to see? And that exposure to the things that you'll see according to what you will see and not what other people will see will lead to expansion. Exposure leads to expansion. Got to understand that. And so when it comes down to gaining IQ, you got to be able to get here, be able to think, understand, right? Understand, so that you could be able to then allow that knowledge to then seep in, for it to then resonate with you, allow it just to bask in your brain, and you understand it as truth and fact. And the second that you see what you saw when you were thinking, you do what you need to. Simple as that. So I just had to say that. That's a gem right there. That's a gem. Where the post is from, might need a cop. I honestly forgot. I just searched the like you could probably search Kobe canvas poster, like Kobe Bryant canvas poster or J. Cole canvas poster, and you'll probably be able to find it. But let me get this posted on Instagram right quick. We about to get into the breakdown. We need to lock in. We've been live for damn near an hour. This Loki has not felt like an hour at all. Man. Let me find this right quick. This nigga Franz, bro. Oh man. I'm gonna post the one bucket Franz got this whole game, bro. I'm about to post that bucket. The one bucket he got, man. The one bucket. He was 1 for fucking 15, man. He sold. Boom. Give me 1 second. Boom. Let me get that. Get that there. Get that there. We about to lock in. This is about to be a high level breakdown. I got some shit in this breakdown that I don't typically do. And what I began to even do in this is begin to ponder upon ways as to which you could adjust in plays. Not just, oh, you learn this skill, make this type of read, but theorizing and hypothesizing different ways you could attack the defense in certain situations. And that's why I did that a lot more, especially towards the fourth quarter of this game. Understanding half-court execution, how you could take advantage of what you're given. So you about to see a good bit of that today. About to see a good bit of that. Let me get that there. And now we uploaded on the wrong story. Hold on. Wrong Instagram. I was on my personal page. I was about to post on my personal page. I was like, I would have been like, what the fuck? This shit never posted. I got to restart this damn post. Hold on. I got to restart this post, bro. I'm tripping. There we go. I did that shit. That would have been the second time I've ever done it. Because I remember I streamed one time a while ago. I had posted on the story and I was like, damn, what the fuck happened? And ain't as many people in the stream. I looked back and I'm like, yo, I forgot to post on Instagram. Nigga was bugging. Got that. There. I gotta restart this post, bro. Let me put that on the screen right quick. Get that there. Get that there. There. There we go. All right, not on the wrong story no more. The time for thinking. Transition is crazy. Also, all right, Bedford, thanks for the advice, especially the rep the knowledge of the current situation, and naturally you do it more in pickup. You just gotta understand what you see and get familiar to seeing it, so that by the time you do see it in real time, it's like I done seen that before, right? You'll probably have like this little epiphany. It was like, oh, I saw this when I watched film and I know this is the read and this is what I got to look at. Then you just go and apply it, right? You just go and apply it at that point. And then as you continuously go about that process, the process of growth is going to get even easier, even better, even faster, even quicker. So it's just the process of growth, though. Just get used to it. Start small, though. Start small. Let me post in the Discord right now. Breakdown starting now. Boom. Got that. There, got that right there. And all right, let's lock in. We locked in. Michael Porter Jr. finna get locked up. You talking about today? In today's Minnesota game? Don't he probably got who? McDaniels on him or some shit? He probably got McDaniels on him. So, yeah, shit, he might. I don't know how they match up. I really do want to watch that, but that shit's at 10. And I cannot break my sleep schedule. I cannot break my sleep schedule to watch a game. I just cannot. I haven't been able to do that for so many years now, unless it's a Saturday maybe. But even then, the game's usually earlier. So, I don't really be tripping. But let's talk about this, though. We talk about Franz. All right. Shit. This is crazy. This is how I got to start the video, bro. I got to start the video talking about what I need to talk about. This is crazy. So first things first. This is sad to say. It's sad to see. But let's just get it done. Let's just get it done, man. So with Franz. Now, Franz went 1 for 15 in this game 7 against Cleveland. And now, 1 minute into the game, about a minute 20 in, he gets Max Strus on a switch. And this right here is exactly what has caused him to have not just a bad game 7, but a bad year. This season, he dropped down 8% from the three-point range. I don't know why. I don't know how it even transpired, but he dropped 8%. And that percentage has also translated in how much he has dropped in terms of performance when the game mattered the most. So when it comes down to Franz and what happened in this game, I'm going to show you exactly why the fuck he plays so sorry, but most importantly, how he could improve, right? And so It may not be just that 3-point stuff. It may not just be how that shit has dropped off, but that is just an indicator of what has transpired this season, what may transpire going into next season. So all you can do is wait and see. But for the rest of this breakdown, I'm going to show you how he could have had a better performance than that 1 for 15 and then been able to possibly win this game 7 along with some other counterparts. So let's get straight to it. You have a sleep schedule, how early you wake up. I go to sleep about 10:20 and I wake up 4:20. To get about good 6 hours of sleep. I get about good 6 hours of sleep every day. And I cannot break that schedule. That's just what I need though. I need 6. I don't know how much sleep y'all need, but I can tell y'all this, I need 6. So everyone's gonna change, it's gonna vary just depending on your body and everything and things like that. So you nap? Yeah, I'd take a nap every now and then. I took a nap, like a 10-minute nap before this stream. Like I'll take a quick little 10-minute nap. Boom, got up, kept it pushing. Maybe in the mornings, like another 10-minute cat nap, but that's it. Just because I'd be fresh off of workouts and shit. So yeah, though. Underrated, indeed. But look, pay attention to this. So now, this right here is the Franz that we know best, right? The Franz that's able to utilize pick and roll screens or even isolations, be able to get downhill, attract bigs and get gravity and get crafty like he did right there. Because for Mobley to get that block, extremely difficult. So notice, right? This is the part of the game that allows Franz just to be him. It allows him just to be so unique, right? Notice this pickup. Low pickup going to the left side. That's not the first step. He could still take 2 more steps. He stops on that right and goes up and doesn't allow Mobley to time that. And that's the only bucket he got this entire game. And now going forward, we're going to see how he could play better. Oh, let me not speed that up. I'm bugging. Let me not speed that up. I'm going to talk about both sides of the floor, by the way. Both sides of the floor. And so now on the defensive side, right? Franz as a defender, more than capable of guarding multiple positions. But when it came down to Donovan Mitchell, different story. Because when Mitchell saw Franz, he saw red. And so now you got a stagger screen about to occur on to his left side, right? So Mitchell could use both screens. But what does he do instead, right? He splits it because now he's got Franz who he could attack downhill. And if you watch the series, he loved this matchup. And so he'll attack him downhill every time, take it straight to his chest and get his angles and get to the rim and get his buckets. So on Franz's part, you got to take pride defensively. And now the mistakes that he had defensively, right? Not even just when it came down to Donovan Mitchell, but as a whole, is what caused his performance to then just drop so bad, right? And so just notice this right here. Pick up this first foul. Not nothing crazy, but understand what this is going to build to later and throughout the game. Now let's get into some nuances. Franz can't hang with that burst. Then you just got to play your range. You got to play your range. That's the most important part of defense. Understanding the type of range you need to play a certain offensive player in according to how fast they are. So that's vital. So also here too. Remember I was talking about how I want to adjust and show how he could have got to his spots even better. This is one of those plays. Your backpack missed you, pause. You don't gotta. That's not. You don't really say pause on that. You could. It's a mini pause. But peep this though. Peep this. So notice this right here. Right. Let's really pay attention. Timing. So now knowing that Franz is not going to get another bucket for the rest of the game, how could he get more buckets? Right. So notice he's about to get the screen right here from Wendell Carter, and right there he missed one of the most important things that you need in order for a play to go as you want it to, which is timing, right? I want you to really pay attention. Really pay attention to Franz's timing when he gets the step-up screen by Wendell Carter from this middle. When Franz decides to go right here, right now, right? Notice, Wendell Carter's not even fully set. And now him not being fully set, this will now prevent Wendell Carter from being able to clip Max Strus enough to the point where once he gets off the screen, he's putting a lot of pressure on Mobley because Strus is fully behind the play. So had he waited, there would have been a lot more pressure on Mobley to guard 2 coming off the screen, whether Wendell Carter would have popped or whether he would have rolled. But now what ends up occurring is that Strus is still on this hip. Now he's able to slow him down a little bit, and now to work around Mobley around the rim is a tough thing to do. And now even though you do get the ball out to Paolo right here, who ends up hitting this 3, Paolo is the only dude who is actually able to show up. And it's not even about what you got, it's about what you missed out on. And that's going to be the theme for the rest of this video, because the Magic missed out on a lot of opportunities, and they can't try to rely on second chance points and bailout opportunities. I'm going to peep this right quick, but we need to get into a flow. We need to lock in. I watch your videos, but for some reason when I play, I just can't do the reads and stuff. I'm not meant to do reads. I'm meant to do. I just dribble to the basket or score, but no reads. Why is this? Is because you're not supposed to be playing the game and thinking like full thoughts like I'm thinking right now in the film. You're supposed to understand that these are fact, and then when you go and play, you play in the flow without really having to think about it. And so you will see certain things, but it's about your ability to get familiar with what you see so that by the time you see it in the game, you don't have to question it, right? Because without questioning it, that also shows you're not thinking about it. And by not thinking about it, then you're playing in a flow. And always trying to think about something in game speed when it's so fast, it's just not gonna work. Game's way too fast to be thinking full thoughts. You only have time to be able to see and do. You don't really have time to really think. It's just about recognition. So that's probably why. And it also is gonna take some practice, like Eric also said. But most times, a lot of people do think that I gotta think through the entire game like I'm thinking in this film. You just can't do that when you're playing. It's too fast. So I want you to notice this though, right? Watch this. Look at Gary Harris on his weak side, right? Jalen Suggs comes off the screen. Instead of being a teammate who just camps on the wing like a lot of y'all be doing, this is what he does. Because when Wendell Carter begins to roll, you have Darius Garland who's now plugging a little bit. You have Mobley who's helping in on this block. And Gary Harris decides to go down and engage Evan Mobley, allowing Paolo to lift up to that wing and allowing him to get his second 3 of the game. And that right there is an unselfish teammate. And it also shows that they're just an unselfish team, always trying to get the ball swinging, always trying to open up space for another player, for another teammate. And that's what y'all got to start doing more of. Yeah, it's like muscle memory. It's like muscle memory. Long story short. Now let me talk about Paolo. I got to talk about Paolo, right? I got to talk about Paolo. I don't think a lot of people even realize this. Hey, Influence, appreciate that sub. But look, he had to mute subs right quick. But notice this. Understand this, right? So Paolo Banchero is 6'10", 250 plus. And he has Donovan Mitchell on him in a face-up situation. Now, the fact he could do this right here, blow by a player who's much quicker than him laterally and able to get to the rim at that size, is scary. And we're not even going to talk about the fact he don't even go left yet. He got 38 and 16 going to his right. Only using his right. He don't finish left. Everything right. So League's about to be in trouble, man. League's about to be in trouble. League's about to be in trouble. Off the face-up, blow-bys. Off a 6'2 player. Now peep this. Oh, this is a gem. This plays a gem. I was talking about team defense. a little bit earlier, right? I was talking about team defense a little bit earlier, but I really got to talk about team defense once again right here. So, off of this, right? I want y'all to even understand this before you even talk about the defensive play in itself. It's not like this is just one play. The Magic were, I think, the number 3 defense in the regular season. So they've been doing this all year. Probably because their pace as well offensively, but don't change the fact that they're going to hold you to a low amount of points every single game they play. Because defensively, they do got a great system in place, and they have great personnel exactly for that system. So let's get to this, though. After this play right here, boom, yeah, we got that. And now we got this play right here, and this is probably one of the best defensive plays I've seen throughout this playoffs. Not really the best, but this is the best defense for modern basketball. So this right here is what elite team defense in modern basketball looks like. Watch this. You got Gary Harris on here. Actually, let me go back. I may make a clip out of this, right? So this is what elite team defense looks like. Gary Harris goes over the screen. Now you got Wendell Carter on the drop, but instead of dropping, you switch right here off the ball with Paolo. Paolo steps up to Marcus Morris. Marcus Morris right here, boom, another switch. And now gives that up to Darius Garland. Gary Harris here, boom, Paolo switches on to Darius Garland off that screen. Darius Garland attacks the paint, and now he gets out to the corner. And now you've run about 20 seconds of offense and had absolutely zero gaps to attack. Switching defense is the wave. The Magic got it. All the Magic need is some scores. All you need. Donovan Mitchell, Trae Young, one of them dudes that we need them. We need them. Repeat this. I gotta slow this back down. Point back to 0.67. Can't keep it full speed the whole time. That's wild the fuck. But notice this here too. So Paula right here got Darius Garland. Look at Suggs and Franz Wagner. Told him to clear out and sink. That's wild. But they all know what's going on, though. But having a player this small, we already know what's about to go on, which is a double team. He's about to see bodies. They're not just going to let Paolo ISO with Darius Garland on him. So what's going to now happen is the Magic are going to have to play and take advantage of the matchups they now have. And this is a matchup Franz should be able to take advantage of. You got Donovan Mitchell, 6'2". Franz, 6'8", 6'9". You should be able to shoot over those anytime. But what ends up occurring that he has to go to the rim because he has not added in this one part of his game that will take his game to another level. This one part, I'm trying to tell you, I've been saying this since last year as well. If Franz began to, instead of always seeking to go and drive, and began to go attack and learn how to stop in that mid-range for a pull-up, it's going to make his drives that much more unpredictable so that Donovan Mitchell and players can't steal the ball from him. So now, notice this. I'm going to go back a little more. I really want y'all to pay attention to his footwork, right? And pay attention to Donovan Mitchell's. Because the second Donovan Mitchell does that step right there, that shows that he can't stop for another 3 steps because he's opened up that hip. He's going to have to take a right, then a left, then get it up and try to contest on a Franz Wagner who is 6'9" and also has a wingspan. But he's only going to the rim. So now Donovan Mitchell could time that swipe, time the drive, and now he's taking a tougher shot around the rim. He needs that mid-range. If you're going to shoot 28% from 3, you may as well add that mid-range. Maybe that could work for you. You just need something else besides just the Euros and the floaters. You need something more than that. And now Donovan Mitchell, hold on. This is a tough bucket, though. This right here, this is a tough defensive play. He did have some good plays, and I'm going to show him. I'm going to show the good plays he has. So that right there, I don't even think y'all realize that. Peep this. Transition defense. Look. Watch Franz's head. Watch his head, right? He turns left while backpedaling in transition. Now, by turning his head that direction, when he gets to a point right here where Donovan Mitchell is stunning towards that middle, he knows he's not going to go middle because he's got Wendell Carter on that side. And so he was prepared to already foot replace and get back this direction and then end up hollowing out on that bump. Good hands, swipe, ball going the other way. One of the 2 good plays or one of the few good plays he had in this 1-for-15 Game 7. I'm going to show the good plays as well, man. Franz is still like that. Just that you need to take that shit up a notch when you need to take it up a notch. And out here, quick little play right here. I'm going to speed through this play right quick. We know Franz is 1-for-15, so you know that shot was not going to go in. And now this is just another play I want you to keep track of. Because remember the foul he had before? Make that number 2. Second foul in the first quarter, and now keep track of that. I want to talk about Cole Anthony. And that's something y'all could even learn from. So, when Cole Anthony has now checked into the game, this is the first time he's going to get any sort of pick and roll, stagger, double screen action, right? And so, with this being the first time he sees that, he's going to have to now adjust his pace so he can make the right reads. And so really pay attention to what he's going to do on his way to the screen, right? When Cole Anthony now gets left for this stagger, he now gets right here, skips right there so he could read Niang, because this is the first time he's seen a pick and roll all game with this player, right? With any player, really. And so now he was able to recognize the fact that Niang is now playing this action high. He skips, sees him stepping up, so I'm not even going to try to get here and try to go and score. I'm going to go see Paolo, boom, short roll. That's why everybody's also got to be in sync. Now, Paolo just ends up getting down here, smokes the first one, but then he still ends up doing this thing on this second chance. Boom, ends up getting that bucket. Now, pay attention to how Cole Anthony's going to continue to layer the game, right? He now has Paolo about to set the screen. Isaac, get back to that corner. Niang once again on the screen. But what is he going to do now? What is he going to do now? Drop coverage. That stagger probably was something that's in their game plan, so that once whoever has the ball comes off, we're blitzing that. But now it's just a two-man pick and roll, two-man action. We playing that in the drop. And so now he's able to recognize this drop, like he recognized that blitz last time. And now what occurs? Niang dropping back. He's not committed. Garland behind the play. I just continue to eat up space, wait for him to commit. He doesn't. I get my float. I get my bucket. Now, same thing about to even transpire on this right side. And he doesn't even have Paolo with him this time. He now has Wendell Carter and Evan Mobley as the defender. So now what is Evan Mobley going to do in this action with Darius Garland guarding the ball? They can't switch that. They're going to go back to that drop. Higher pickup by Mobley, still dropping back. And so he just stays patient, sees what type of player he commits to, doesn't commit to him, baseline for that fade. Having the ability to recognize coverages throughout the course of a game is what's going to allow you to be able to actually make the right plays when it comes to playing in a game. It's the most important part. You got to recognize those coverages, especially in high school, because it's not like you'll be able to always know what they're going to run before you get there. You may just be seeing people for the first time, but when you see that action for the first time, when you in the spot you tend to be in, makes you remember what you even saw there and know what you could take advantage of. And that thinking transpires when the game is stopped, right? Not while the game's continuously playing, while the ball is live, when it's stopped. You could think back for a second and be like, oh, this is this, I know that. And then that's when you make those adjustments. Then you go back into the game, get back to that spot, and then boom, you make the adjustment. Because now what you told yourself mentally, what you told your subconscious, it's truth, and now you just act on it when you see it. You just make the decision, you make the scan, you do what you need to do. And so I want to talk about this towards the end of the second quarter, right? Towards the end of the second. Now, being up by as much as 18 points, runs like this from any team is inevitable, because basketball is a game of runs. You got Karis LeVert comes down, gets into the lane, gets that tough two on Jonathan Isaac. And now you got this action on this right side. Inside 2 minutes, Jalen Suggs throws that pass to Paolo. Boom, that goes out of bounds, right? It seems like things are getting really bad, and we know the results, so it kind of did get a little bad. But this is inevitable. Basketball is a game of runs, like I said. You got Karis LeVert, who's averaging 6 points per game on the series, come in this game and have double-digit scoring, have a spark off the bench. He gets that bucket. And now, boom, game is at 11, right? 11-point lead. Skip over to Sam Merrill. He hits a transition three. Make that 8, right? Cut the lead in more than half, right? But now, how do you combat that run? That's the real question. And that's what the great teams are able to do. And they're able to run the proper plays so that they could be able to kill those runs, kill that momentum, and be able to maintain a lead. But it's not just about maintaining it for that time and place. It's about being able to sustain it. And the Magic, in this point, were able to put a bandage on a 3-inch open wound, because when the second half came around, they ain't have nothing. But for what it is right now, let me show you how they're able to how they're able to put a little bandage on the wound, right? So recognize this, right? Notice, as this pass gets thrown to Paolo, I really want y'all to pay attention, because Jamal Mosley is smart, right? Jamal Mosley is smart. And I ain't gonna lie. Hey, Jamal Mosley, you're smart for this one, right? Notice, because as this pass gets thrown to Paolo, watch what Jonathan Isaac does. He cuts through. And now Paolo immediately turns his head as soon as he touches the ball. And now what does he turn his head to look at? Donovan Mitchell. What does Donovan Mitchell do? He clears out, which now catching from that right elbow shows he has that whole baseline to go. And he just spins, turns that whole corner, and ends up getting that layup right there and then. literally cleared out the player as the pass was thrown so they could even recognize the fact Paolo was getting the ball on the mismatch. Smart shit by Jamal Mosley. And now you're like, oh, they just did that shit one time. It was coincidence. I'm going to show y'all a second time later on because this is not something that's just coincidental. This is something that's intentful. So really pay attention. And now here, I got to backtrack a little bit. Fucking stink reaction. Nah. Fucking stink is wild. That is wild. That is wild. All y'all thought the Magic going to be bottom feeder team this year. Every single one of y'all. I started the year. I got to address the fact of this. All y'all said the Magic would not make the playoffs. I was the only person here. Everyone in my chat ever since I've been streaming. Magic not going to make the playoffs. Not going to do it. Nah, they ain't. And before you know it, you see who's in the playoffs and what teams are not even in the playoffs. And what teams do even have a competitive first round series. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. That's wild to say they stink. That's wild as fuck. But peep this as well. So, remember the foul trouble I told y'all about with Franz, right? He had 2 in that first, and now we're right inside the halfway mark of the second quarter. And so what's going to happen now with Franz having 2 fouls is that he's going to now end up picking up this 3rd foul because Donovan Mitchell, when he sees Franz, he sees red. And now what's going to end up occurring? He's going to be out the game. And the next time that he gets into the game, y'all got to really understand this. It's in the second half. And if we're speaking in real time, he did not miss 6 minutes. He missed of real time, probably about 45 minutes of play. And I'm not saying, oh, damn, if he didn't get in foul trouble, the rest were on his side, then we wouldn't be in this situation. No, because you as a player were the one to make every single one of those fouls. You could have prevented it. So all the accountability, even on the fouls, goes on Franz himself. No excuse for what transpired. And so by the time you get into a game, it's going to be tough to get your rhythm when you've been sitting down for about 45 minutes, 50 minutes because of fouls you committed. Got to make sure I emphasize that. You as in Franz himself. So he got to hold himself accountable. And what ends up just occurring in the second half as a whole, goose egg for 9. Goose egg for 9. Goose egg for 9. Because he now, boom, pull back shot. Let me get into my jumper. No rhythm. Miss. And just watch how this continues to go forward. But most importantly, understand how he could even been able to play better. Now on the defensive side, what do you think my Mavs got a chance to win it all? It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for the Mavs, man. I think they got the Thunder, but between Minnesota and Denver, it's going to be rough, man. If Ant ends up getting out that series, bro, it's looking like a tough man to stop, bro. I'm all I'm going to say. So, here, also, they got the size in that matchup, so that's going to be tough as shit. But defensively, I want to talk about this defensively. Now, Jalen Suggs was working his ass off. Jalen Suggs be working his ass off, right? Peep this. Jalen Suggs got Donovan Mitchell. Screen coming up from that right side. Watch what he does. Do you see this gap right here? Boom, right there. He blows up that first screen. Re-screen by Strus. Now the second screen. Damn near blows up that second one. And now it's like, damn, he really working. He's got like no space at this point. Watch what Franz does, right? Watch what he does. He starts about right here closer to this G. As Donovan Mitchell gets downhill, he moves over. And that shuffle over gave everything Donovan Mitchell needed in order for him to do exactly what he wants to, which is be able to just to get a gap so that he could get to the rim and now ultimately be able to score and get his bucket. Now, hear me out. The Magic had Donovan Mitchell. Magic had Donovan Mitchell. It would be a very scary sight. It would be a very scary sight, man. I ain't gonna lie. It would be a very scary sight. And I want to talk about this. Also want to talk about this. You said also on the whether I'm successful now, let's go to work. All right, bro. But peep this. I want to talk about tendencies, right? And so you got to really understand this concept even when it comes down to Paolo. Paolo had 38 and 16, mind you. He had 38 and 16. And I said he ain't even go left. He ain't even use his left. And so when it comes down to especially playing within the playoffs, you got to understand tendencies, and you got to understand when players operate best in certain spots. For Paolo, if you just really watch his game, you'll know that he does not go to his left, right? He don't use this hand. He just used this hand the whole time, but yet he still had 38 and 16. Crazy. That's wild, right? And so understanding that he just uses this hand and never uses this hand, Watch what's about to transpire in this play and multiple plays going forward. He ends up being on the left side of the floor, attacks left, loses the ball, turnover right there and then. And now, all right, now we're getting down to this third quarter, right? Let's begin just to see the tendencies, because the tendencies are going to show one's efficiency. So understand now, you got this little cross screen, back screen from Gary Harris, so Paolo could get this catch in the mid post area, right? Left side of the floor. What is he able to get out of this isolation? Like he did with Evan Mobley earlier in the game. He's got Isaac Okoro trying to post up, spin. He can't create nothing for himself. But this is what's a red flag, right? Is that we've only seen 2 times thus far in this game alone that Paolo is unsuccessful going to his left and operating left. And if you just think of his tendency, he doesn't go left. But now when you end up finding something that does work, when he does go left and you continue to do it, but yet this other thing does work and you don't do it, it doesn't make sense. And so when you end up getting here and running this pick and roll on this left side with your 2 best players, right? Your 2 best, Franz and Paolo, for the first time all game, what are you able to generate? A pick and pop 3 for Paolo on the left side. Boom, that's his 3rd 3 of the game. You got a good look from that. But I ain't never seen them run this action one more time for the rest of the game. But you know what they did run another time? Paolo going to his left. Another back cross screen, whatever, from Gary Harris. And now, boom, let's ISO on the left side of the floor. And now let Paolo cook. What does Paolo cook when he goes left? Fade away to that left. Boom. Terrible shot. Especially with the amount of time even left in the shot clock. Now, 12 left, that's the shot you take. He's not comfortable. All you got to do is send him to the other side. Run the action to the other side. But notice what even happens again, right? You probably thought, oh, all right, 3 times. 4 times? Come on, man. Let's see what he's able to cook when he gets these ISOs on the left side of the floor. He gets a switch of Strus, cut by Mo Wagner, leave him empty on this side, and now let's see what he cooks up. Let's see. Another terrible shot. 9 left on the shot clock. Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? If you know he's not good going a certain direction, why continuously do so? Why? He's not good going to his left. You know he don't finish with his left. And so is his body even good and comfortable when he has to do a move going to that left side? Because that could be a nervous system issue. I don't even think a lot of people realize that. It may not just be he just isn't good at finishing at the rim with his left hand or whatever it is, but physically, his overall system, his nervous system, he just may not be comfortable moving in a manner to then bump and make contact, for him to slim through, get through gaps even, or just to be strong and be balanced when it's just going this opposite direction. And he's just been so comfortable his whole career going this other direction, which is his right side and using that right hand. So he's got to train that left if he's want to be able to take his shit to the next level. Because sooner or later, it's gonna get exposed even more. So I just had to say that when it comes down to Paolo. That's a tough thing, man. The tough thing. How could he get away with having one-hand tennis at a high level? Aren't they scouting that type shit? They are scouting, but some players teams are able to get players to the spots as to which that favor them according to the type of shit that they run. But when you run some certain shit like this is where you gotta look back and be like, oh, he's not good at that, 1 or 2. The other side really just didn't pick up on it, nor stay disciplined to it if they did. So if I was the Cavs in this situation, I'm setting everything for Paolo going to his left. You're gonna finish with your left hand. Like, I'm gonna send you to the rim and try to force you to finish with your left hand. But the tough thing about that is the size. Like, he's 6'10", 250, 260 maybe. With the handle, he's got solid movement, so it's tough to say. It's tough to be able to be like, oh, just do this. It's not that easy most times. But now here though. So this is playoff basketball, right? Understand. And you've got to get the easiest buckets possible. And this is where the 3-point urge should go out the window, right? But now what ends up occurring here is that we know Franz got a goose egg in the second half from the field. You kick that out. If I'm Paul in this situation, man, don't look for that 3-point line. Cross step that right there and finish right over Max Strus. That's an easy 2. Give us the 2 before you kick out and give that 3. Because we need all the buckets we can. I don't give a fuck about the rhythm stuff. We need the bucket. So you got to finish those. Got to prioritize that too. Because what they end up doing, they get down here. Nobody runs to the 3-point line. Franz scared of foul trouble, and Donovan Mitchell gets his 2. 4-point swing. 4-point swing right there and then. Now pay attention to this. I told you I was doing a lot of theorizing. So, look. So Paolo sets the screen on Karis LeVert, Markelle Fultz. He gets a switch off of Okoro, right? And now having this switch, of course the Cavs are not just going to allow him just to go to work and get busy in isolation. He's going to see bodies, right? And what you do when you see those bodies is the most important thing. So pay attention, right? Paolo, boom, Jalen Suggs cuts through from this corner so he could have space. And now he begins to enter his post up. But by the time he sees bodies, how could you take advantage of the fact that you got 2 on the ball and you have 3 other defenders on the floor with 4 offensive players? How could you take advantage of the fact of that when you're not spaced? You're not spaced. So it's going to be even tougher on top of the fact you're not a well-shooting team to be able to score in this situation. And so now you just get matched right back up. You're not able to take advantage of those numbers. So how could you do so becomes the question. How could you do so becomes the question. So ultimately, this all boils down to Paolo, right? How quick are you going to enter that post up and enter that attack mode? That's going to make the defense go and send that double. Because they're going to send it once he turns his back. But since he turns his back when the spacing is not set, right here when Jalen Suggs isn't necessarily where he needs to be, and then when you can't even see the floor, you're not fully turned around at this point, how could you be able to take advantage, right? And so just understanding that from this side of the floor, you could walk as far down towards the sideline as you want and face no resistance. All you got to do at that point is turn your back so you can see the rest of the floor. But now, you don't got spacing, can't see the floor, go too early before people get to where they need to. And now what ends up even occurring beyond this possession is now let's go back to Franz, right? Let's go back to Franz. You got this 2-man action with Franz, 9 on the clock. Now he ends up getting to his left side with Mobley. And now that right there is the exact way you should never go and attack a shot blocker, right? I just need y'all to understand what exactly transpired from this angle with Franz going against Evan Mobley. You know Evan Mobley is a shot blocker, right? And if you want to be able to finish over a shot blocker, you got to get them off balance so that they either collapse their hands and they foul, or it's harder for them to be able to time their block, right? And so notice, right? Watch Franz, right? He goes and attacks Evan Mobley in a shot blocker, and this contact right here is not enough to dislodge a shot blocker. You need to take shit to their chest. You need to get them off balance. You need to hit them so hard their hands collapse, or they just can't even really give you a full-on contest because they're going to foul. So that contact right there is just not enough to be able to get over the top of Mobley on that shot. You got to get into a shot blocker's chest if you want them to be able to not block your shot when you're just directly attacking them. Who has been in the playoffs before? Gary Harris, maybe Bo Wagner, but I guarantee you he did not play. Joe Ingles, Gary Harris and Joe Ingles. The thing is, Orlando doesn't really need a rim protector because they could switch everything. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you always need someone to be in there and block shots, but they got size. So, Slay, do I have a hoop career just coach? No, I'm not hooping like professionally, nothing like that at all. I hoop just for me to get better. But yeah. Let's get back to this. Now, when Donovan Mitchell saw Franz Wagner, it was equivalent to a bull in a crowd. He just saw red. He just saw go. In and out, split, getting straight to my spots. Franz, this is not acceptable, man. You got to lock in. You got to lock in, man. You got to lock in. Not just on defense, but also that three-point shot. You got to lock in, bro. You got to lock in. Now pay attention defensively. Defensively, pay attention to what's about to transpire over these next few plays. I really got to talk about this. So notice, you got Franz on his weak side guarding Max Strus, right? Donovan Mitchell gets into the paint, and Franz is guarding the top of the key. This is a very tricky spot to play defense because you're taught to see both your man and the ball. But at the top of the key, with the ball being in the paint, you're going to have to position your body in a weird way. So what is Franz going to do in this situation? He's going to end up turning his back completely so that he could just see the ball and his man is behind him, so he can't see what Strus is doing. He could only assume. So what ends up happening, Mitchell misses that, hoping that they get that rebound. Ball gets thrown out here. You follow the ball instead of following who you should have been seeing. And now what ends up happening, Strus gets loose, gets his three from the right wing, and then knocks that one down. Boom, he gets that. But not just that three right there, right? Notice what ends up occurring again defensively guarding Max Strus. You're guarding a shooter. Now guarding a shooter, you got to chase everything over. And now how do you chase over screens? The most important thing when it comes down to getting over screens is leading so you could chase that outside shoulder. And if you do get by the screen, lead and turn to get skinny with that inside shoulder, right? So your frame just gets skinnier instead of being out so wide, right? And so notice how Franz begins to guard on this play, right, with Max Strus. You're supposed to stay attached. You're just holding on to him. I don't know why he's holding on to him. I don't know why he's gripping his waist and in the stomach like that when you're supposed to keep your body attached and not just your hands. Because the second that he's just able to sprint out, you now do not have that. He now has all that space, right? He has all the space he needs because he just got loose from your hands. You got to be body to body, no diddy, right? Body to body, you got to be body to body, no diddy. And now notice the navigation on the screen. Lead with that inside shoulder, like I said, get skinny. He ain't do that. He gets clipped. Strus now pulls that three once again from the right wing. Boom, 2 threes at the end of this third quarter. They turn it up. But the most important part about that is that Franz was 1 for 15, right? Franz was 1 for 15. Appreciate that sub, Bogart. But Franz was 1 for 15. And so just understanding that, he had 6 points total, right? 4 free throws. Max Strus had 13. And now this game in the playoffs is not just a game of, who could be able to ISO one-on-one their matchup better and be able to get more points. It's about who you're matching up against and can you outscore them if you're just playing totals, right? If we're keeping it as simple as it can be, who is able to produce more? Franz had 6. I don't know how many assists, maybe 1 or 2, but I know Max Strus got 13 points. So that's a -7. That's a -7 right there and then. So you got to make sure you win that matchup. Even if you don't want to compare Franz and Max Strus. Let's now compare the number 2s. Franz even has 6. Darius Garland or Evan Mobley, I promise you had more than that. Lost the matchup right there and then. You got to make sure you win that matchup. And if you don't do that in matchups in the playoffs, it's going to be tough to win games. Now back here, we got to talk about taking advantage of numbers. We got to talk about numbers. So the one thing the Magic could do a lot better in this series is take advantage of numbers, and they're going to learn that with more playoff experience. But notice this play here. Paolo gets a switch with Karis LeVert. They're not going to let him go to work and just let him ISO. Notice what happens, right? Fultz got the ball, fronts in the post. You got Mobley pinching in because of the front. And now what decisions should you make to be able to take advantage of numbers? Because where you have the numbers is on this weak side. Because you got pinched in the paint. So you got 2 on Paolo, meaning you got 3 over here. How could you be able to get the ball straight to your numbers and be able to play off the spot up and keep the defense in rotation? That becomes the main question. And now it could be as simple as either he steps over, you skip this to Mo, and this is not even an intention to shoot, but just for Donovan Mitchell to turn and close out. Then you swing to Suggs, then you swing to Franz for a shot. And even though Franz is shooting 28% from 3 and 26% from 3 in the playoffs, it's crazy, absurd work. But it's better than having to go back and always revert to playing isolation basketball, which they now do over here when it's down here with Franz. And now just having, 4 points in the game at this point, floater in the lane, short. Another miss. You got to take advantage of those numbers and keep the offense in a flow instead of trying to seek those isolation plays. Another thing right here. Y'all may have seen this. How you play a defender to blow by them and mislead them because I ain't that fast? You got to play in ranges. I talked about that a little bit before, but you got to play in ranges if you're too slow. And you got to understand what you want to take away. But peep this. This is something that you could probably even see on when you was watching the game back. But I had seen this shit and I was like, damn, them niggas got to it before me. Like I was watching, I was like, damn, they pointed that shit out before I could just say that shit my damn self. But notice right here with Markelle Fultz, right? This is why that 5 out is so important, right? Just really, really understand, right? This is why playing 5 out in today's NBA is so important. Paolo rips left. Yeah, Markelle Fultz running along the baseline between these dunker spots. But this allows Isaac Okoro, boom, to get here and be able to get set for a charge. And so, Markelle Fultz, yeah, that's on me. That's on me. He should know he shouldn't have been there. But since they don't got many shooters, they're going to try and play around with that dunker spot and that block. We need shooters. We need shooters. We need shooters. We need shooters. And now Jalen Suggs right quick. Let's talk about Jalen Suggs. Now, Jalen Suggs is a 39-40% three-point shooter, but he shoots 39 to 40% not on shots like this, right? Where you're moving, curling into shots, taking shots on the move. He was doing that off of being stationary as a shooter, right? But this is where Jalen Suggs could take another leap going to next year and going to seasons going forward. Is that if he goes into the offseason, right? Say he does something like tap into DOR, you know what I'm saying? He tap in, hit my line or some shit, say, yo, I really need to learn how to shoot off the move. You know what I'm saying? That percentage is going to go through the roof. I could tell you that. Because the catch and shoot game, that's my favorite part of the game. And so if he goes into offseason and says, all right, I can shoot off the spot up. I know how to shoot stationary, these little step-ins. But when I need to shoot on the move, have the balance and the control to do so, that's where he could be able to take his game to another level, because you could run actions like this. And if you could keep up that percentage shooting these type of shots, because they're really all the same shot, even like a catch and shoot one, it's just about your ability to control and stay balanced. He's going to see a lot of money. On top of the defensive stuff, he's going to see a lot of money. A lot of money. And I want y'all to pay attention to this, right? Look at Max Strus, right? Look at Max Strus. 1, 2, 3. Watch. 4. Watch. 5. 6. Damn near 6 times he turned his head, right? And so now you've already missed your chance to go and drive. Understand. Because at any point in time, right? Understand. Because at any point in time when he turns his head, Franz could make a move that will cause him to either overreact and leave a lane going the other way, so you hit a 2 move, or you'll already have a lane going one direction. But now what ends up transpiring is that you just allow the game and the clock to go, and just this is the type of shit that ends up cooking up. All that head turning, and now boom, you end up getting to the lane and missing another floater short. You could have already had a lane if you just paid attention to what he was just turning and looking at. A defender who's turning their head shows you that they're not really focused on you. They're worried about what's going on behind them. So even though there could have been nothing behind him, he still could have manipulated the fact of there possibly being something in another direction just because he wasn't paying attention. Just off of that alone. Got to stay healthy. Got to get better at damn shooting. Able to do crazy moves because they have master balance. How do you master balance? I don't even know if I said master balance. I don't say master balance. They mastered movement. They mastered movement. And our movement has a bunch of nuanced skills, which does include balance. But there's more skills beyond that so they could be able to do what they do. They're able to do crazy moves because they mastered movement. How do you shoot on the catch? That's a very basic question. You catch the ball, you keep your base, you step your feet in, get into your shot. Only going up into your shot. Start stream earlier. Hey, I told you, Leon, I'm trying. I'm working my way there. But pay attention. Now, this is vital. So, the Magic, like I said before, the numbers. They weren't able to take advantage of numbers. And the second Cole Anthony comes off the screen, you got numbers. But how well are you able to put pressure on the defense because they're behind on numbers, right? Cole Anthony comes off here and automatically engages Okoro, but keeping this action so condensed in such a small space literally hurt this offensive possession. Because I just want y'all to think for a second, right? I want y'all to think what's going to happen if Cole Anthony decides to get off the screen, and instead of just going right here, straight into Isaac Okoro, he goes all the way over to this left wing. He just stretches the defense out to this left wing. And so now what's going to happen on Paulo's role, right? It's going to force Okoro to now step over even more. It's going to force him to step over even more. It's going to keep Darius Garland in a position where he is behind the ball. And now that's why Okoro's stepping over more. And now what is that going to do to his weak side with LeVert, with Paolo on his role? He's now going to pinch in. And now what's that going to do to Donovan Mitchell? He's going to step up and have to guard two once the pass gets thrown, right? He has to get that first pass out. So now it opens up these skips on his weak side. So now you can take advantage of your numbers. But what ends up occurring, you get off the screen, try to engage, keep everything confined in this little bit of space. Now Paulo is back up here at the top. Boom, with Isaac Okoro. And then they do end up, I believe, getting something solid. No, they don't, as a matter of fact. He just ends up taking a fade along the middle of the floor and ends up breaking that. You need to take advantage of numbers. You need to take advantage of numbers. If you don't, it's going to be tough to win playoff games consistently. Now, Pete, I want to talk about this right quick. What play was this? This play. Oh yeah, missing opportunities, missing opportunities, man. This is crazy. This is ridiculous. I was like, damn, man, you missed so many things, right? You missed so many options, bro. Look, I try to tell y'all. Notice the numbers. It's a numbers game. So Paolo gives us up to Franz. Watch Paolo and Franz. They both point to Wendell Carter. Tell him to go up to this wing. And now notice what happens within this action, right? You got to understand that when you run an action, you're supposed to make a play and not just go through a play. So pay attention. Wendell Carter gets this catch, screened by Paolo for Franz. Watch Darius Garland. That pass should already begin thrown to Cole Anthony. Skip that straight to Cole Anthony, playing off the closeout. Even if he can't even shoot that off the catch. You got a hard close by Darius Garland. That's your offense, right? You missed that first one right there and then. Boom. Now Paolo ends up getting here. You could possibly throw that over the top, hands there, but instead, you got Karis LeVert who fell. If you decide to stay just this much more patient, so that you can throw the ball into the middle of the floor with Paolo, who has Karis LeVert, who is a mismatch and is going to have gravity, and now we can take advantage of numbers with the ball being in the middle. If you would have stayed a little more patient, you could have got something better. But you do a handoff with Gary Harris, and you miss out on the time as to which LeVert was on the floor. Could have got it easy too. Right? Could have got it easy too. And now, despite the fact that they do end up getting here, and Paolo does get fouled, it's not about what you get. It's about what you missed out on. Because how well you convert on the first plays that you get determines how efficient you will be as a team. Which is why you look at a team like Denver. When they get into their actions, they sharp on the first time, go through every single time, not relying on second chance points. Right? They're not going to sit here and say, okay, if this doesn't work, or we don't mind overlooking this because this ended up getting that. You got to always look at the things you missed out on so that you don't miss out on anything you do the first time you go through it. Most important part. I forgot to even play the binaural B in the background. No cap. I just realized something felt a little off. I was like, I ain't even had this shit on the whole time. I've been bugging. That shows just dummy low. What I miss? What do you eat before games and how long beforehand? You got to figure that out for yourself. Everybody got a different digestive system and a different stomach. Where the paint is mostly clear. Depends on time and place and depends on who you got. But if the paint's clear, why not shoot? Why not go for a layup? You almost 25. Consistency paying off. I've been consistent for forever. I've been trying to tell y'all, man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Consistency always been there. Consistency my middle name. Consistency my middle name. But Pete, this. Remember the play I showed y'all? Remember the play I had showed y'all when he had turned his head? Watch this. I'm trying to tell y'all, hey, little plays like this, y'all be like, hey, bro, it's not that deep, bro. You ain't doing that much. This is the second time. Watch this. As a pass gets thrown to Paolo, watch Gary Harris. He cuts through as the pass gets thrown, and Paolo immediately turns his head, sees the clear out. I go and attack on the clear out so I don't have that help. Boom, get another dunk. These plays are conscious plays, and don't try to write it off and be like, it's not that deep. It's not. They're not doing all that. Yes, it is. It is that deep. It is that tough to be able to score in the NBA. That's why you got to make all these reads. peep here. Pacing, timing, vital. Pete Franz, mainly Pete Franz, right? On these screens that Franz is about to set right here with Paolo, it's vital that you set a good screen, because watch what Franz does. He sets this and tries to slip out to the middle, just get out into that space, right? But understand, if he decided to sit here, actually hold the screen and hit a Coro, you know the amount of pressure that you'll put on Max Strus when Paolo decides to go along this baseline and you got a Coro who's chasing over the top, right? You know how much pressure that would be? And now that would force Strus to leave, and then that would open up the slip to the middle. And then that way you'll be able to get a bucket. Or else Strus may have to switch, and then a Coro, boom, is on Franz. And now you have Strus on Paolo, who's a favorable matchup. But now Franz ended up slipping that a little early. So even if you do see some sort of spacing, it's still vital that you do that you understand the type of action you're in, so that you could do what must be done, which is actually setting a good screen. Utilize the gravity of Paolo. And I'm pretty sure Paolo may even end up getting the 2. Or no, Wendell Carter ends up getting the 2. But like I said, not about what you got, it's what you missed out on. What they missed out on, man. And now these plays right here, I was just like, gang, come on, man. Come on, man. These plays right here. These plays. So, in a playoff game, you down 10, 4 minutes, 30 seconds left. And this is the offense you decide to revert to. Walk down past half court. ISO by Franz, who's got 4 of 6 points in the game, about 1 for 12. He tries to go ISO. You give it to Paolo. Then Paolo on the left side, we already spoke about that. Then Paolo tries to ISO, right? And you even notice once again, he just don't got nothing to cook up. And even though he did get fouled, got a bailout, that's not great offense. It's not great offense. You cannot overlook the fact of that. And now you cannot overlook this too, man. Franz, you got to lock in. Franz got to lock in. All he really need to do, get that 3-point percentage up to around back to 36 plus. Really, I would love to see a 38, and that's going to open up everything else. That's all I want to see right there. All I want to see. And this right here was the icing on the cake. This is after timeout, by the way. After timeout, you got a play drawn up. You have a whole game plan for the rest of this game. Maybe make a little run. But notice what happens. Throw this to half court. You lackadaisical like it's a game in mid-February. And what happens? Ball gets stolen from behind. Darius Garland ends up with that ball. And now with 3 minutes left, it's like y'all are just not even locked in. And that's the end of that game. That's the end of Magic season as well. We're going to see who ends up coming out the East and the West. But I ain't going to lie, I got my money on Minnesota. Low key. And we about to slide out of here. So if y'all want any one-on-one coaching, any direct messaging, any one-on-one calls, Patreon right there at the top of the chat. Exclusive breakdowns, encore workouts, skills workouts, all that stuff. So that y'all can be able to apply the shit that you see in the film into a real game and get real results. Improve your performance and no longer be someone who's consuming all this information and not knowing how to apply it in the things that they do. So the application process is extremely important. I just take y'all through that whole application from the film to the court workout to the weight room workout, and then by the time you get into the game, it's going to be like this, right? So if you want to take your game to the next level, take your mind to the next level, go tap into the Patreon. Also, if y'all want, you just go ahead, join the Discord, and make sure that y'all tune into next stream. We're going to be live again on Wednesday. Don't know what game I'm going to watch, but we're going to be locked in, dropping gems. So make sure that y'all sacrifice your present self and invest into your future self and do everything you need to do to get to where you're here to be. So discipline or regret, you choose.